You're listening to Reflections and Conversations.
Once upon a Christmas, in a manger far away.
To be honest, I wouldn't say that I followed in my brother's footstep. It's just that coming close to leaving school, I would have written to a few institutions seeking employment, and Central Bank just happened to call me. I guess you can say I was blessed. And we're now here today, working in the same institution for over 26 years.
Well, for me, it is a joy and a privilege to have my sister working at the same institution where I'm at. I don't know, it must have been fate or the blessings of God for her to be able to join the staff here. And so I was thrilled when I discovered that she was now an employee at the Central Bank.
Well, I saw this opportunity come up on the Central Bank's website where they had a position that suited my qualifications. And my wife had previously applied for another position within the bank a few months earlier. So I guess the stars aligned and we both were successful in being employed by the Central Bank.
I think I went to one of the events at Faith You In, and I was really impressed with the talent displayed. I think the choir was singing. I remember Dulcie Richardson was conducting the choir, and they had an event, and the energy, the enthusiasm, the innovation, the creativity, the fun was really something that impressed me. I'm not sure if I thought about working at the Central Bank back then, but I think when the opportunity arose and I decided to advance to a new environment just to see what I can learn from that experience, then I applied to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank.
I think we are one of the many love stories that would have happened at the ECCB. I would have met my husband at Central Bank. He was already working here for about over 10 years at the time I would have met him. And so we would have fallen in love at one of the ECCB events. So for us, we did not necessarily follow in anybody's footstep. We each had our own personal desire to work with ECCB and serving the people of the region. But I do believe that those common values would have brought us together as a couple.
Having your sister and yourself working at this institution, it's not only satisfying, but I'm happy as well that my sister also has the opportunity, like myself, to contribute to the persons within the ECCU.
Most persons really did not know Sharika was my sister until she actually arrived at the bank. They were like, "Isn't that your sister?" I was like, "Yeah."
So my first few years, I did interact quite a bit. You know, if Lisa would call the receptionist desk to make an outside call, or in where she was stationed, if I had to go there for whatever reason, then I would interact, but not so much now in my new work arrangements.
From my perspective, we have had occasions where we have interacted, very few though, because we work in separate departments, but there are times when the work demands that we interact. For example, like making a payment or receiving some information, and then we'd have to communicate.
The only interaction would be by phone if I have some troubleshooting errors, but there's no need besides that to interact at work. I'm in BMOD and he's in MISD, so his only responsibility would be more or less to help me out if I have problems to log in.
And even when I come into the BMOD department, I sometimes pass by straight. I don't really interact with her, and I go to exactly to the client that I'm supposed to go to. So it's.
And then probably someone else in the department would look and wonder if we would probably hail each other or look to see if we're passing a nice eye to each other, but no.
Next on Reflections and Conversations.
The bank provides us with an opportunity to interact both socially and professionally within the confines of what applies.
I tend to see her as Pat the economist, so Pat the specialist in her genre of expertise, as opposed to Pat, my sister at work.
Anybody who knows us and know our personalities, they would know that we're both very quiet, outgoing when we can be, Lisa more so than myself.
We were always taught that family is key, and the bond that we shared should be a very tight bond, and this stems from our mother.
You're listening to Reflections and Conversations.